not infrequently stated that from concept to market for a new therapeutic modality to arrive takes at least a decade, which leaves those clinicians who are treating patients tapping their feet and asking for a more rapid approval process. Not necessarily the approval process that keeps things back, but the amount of research that goes into demonstrating that what we are going to do will be helpful rather than harmful.
And doesn't treatment pace depend upon the availability of clinical trials to test new modalities, new treatments?
Yes.
Yes, it does, and that's why we think that it is important to make clinical trials the standard of care. At Lancaster General, we participate with the Abramson Cancer Center at the University of Pennsylvania to make sure that people do have that knowledge and that access, so that we think that for the first time, people may actually benefit themselves from enrolling into a clinical trial. In the past, you were enrolling in a clinical trial to help medical science, to try something because your treatment hadn't worked. Now we're identifying up front, you may be the kind of person who has the target, and there's a very big experience in that with a type of leukemia where we know precisely what went wrong. We were able to fix that, and almost everybody who participated in the first clinical trial got into remission within a month or two in a leukemia which was previously incurable.
Let me augment Dr. Royer's statement. The importance of clinical trials in the community can't be overstated. About 5% of all patients who are diagnosed with a malignancy participate in some sort of clinical trial. That means that 95% do not. The number is woefully inadequate. If we consider that 1.5 million new cases of cancer will be diagnosed in 2011, the potential for evaluating new therapeutic modalities among 1.5 million patients versus 5% of 1.5 million patients can't be overstated. We are hampered in some areas in that some patients simply are not candidates. We are hampered in some areas by compensation. But those are barriers that I think we need to work very hard as a community to overcome for our patients in this region.
Now, of course, there are treatment trials, and that's what you're referring to here, but there are also preventative trials and other trials that are testing other aspects.
Right, and I think all of us here at the table participate in clinical trials and research at the community level, and 20 years ago, if you wanted to participate in a clinical trial, you would have to probably go to Philadelphia or Baltimore, but you don't have to do that anymore. These trials are available in the community here. I think what oftentimes would be of a help were the clinicians, when they're talking to patients, letting them know that there's a clinical trial available for them in their community so that they can have access to it. And I think sometimes that comes from the clinician themselves, not only patients. So I think it's a broader aspect that we have to look at and really work with people to see the value of clinical trials. All of us here believe in research. And for a variety of reasons, but you have to convince other people that it is worthwhile endeavor to go forward with, not only the patients, but the physicians they work with.